This is an intro to a dolly, tow dolly repair that I had to perform on my master tow dolly. I had a blowout and tire destroyed a fender, and the other fender had some cracks in it. Tow dolly's about 4 years old, and so anyway, this is the finished product. But while I have it out here and making some videos, I thought I'd talk about how to use a tow dolly and also some modifications that I made. This is a black strap, which is aftermarket. Straps on tow dollies, by the way, are considered consumable items and need to be replaced from time to time as they show wear. The original set of straps were bright yellow and had a ratchet, kind of an oversized ratchet strap that mounted, to this bracket right here. Now, what I replaced on this a few years back was this ratchet here, bought on eBay, that I end up using a ratchet here to tighten it up, and this has worked out far better. My problem is that the car is so low down in this area right here that with the other ratchet strap, the handle was just hitting the bottom of the car, and I really couldn't get a good travel on it, any leverage. And this way here, I'm always pushing down to tighten up, and you also push down to release, and then it straps the tire in. What I'm going to do right now is go over a couple of things on how to mount the straps around the tire. Most straps only have 2 straps going across. This one has 3. The top one up here a lot of times doesn't do a whole lot. Sometimes it's almost loose, okay, depending on the spacing you have. You do want to have it low enough to capture the back of the tire, because when you're accelerating, it's trying to pull back this way. When you do accelerating, it's trying to go forward, okay, and the front part of the strap here is holding it in the cradle of the tow dolly. The other thing that I see some people do, when not all I can do it like this, is to put these clips in this orientation. And in a minute I'll set the camera up and loosen the straps up. But the main reason for that is when you're hooking these up, I've had it where in this orientation, to release it, you bend the hook this way, you rotate it this way. And if you try to do it in the other direction, sometimes you're hitting the tire. And if anything, maybe you got it on one way, but when you go to take it off, maybe the tire shifted a little bit, and you go to bend it rotate it in that direction, it hits the tire, and then it's like, now what do I do? So I've always found it best to orient these clips in this direction, basically backwards, so that to release them, I'm always rotating them away from the tire. But anyway, let me get the camera set up on a tripod where you can watch what I'm doing to put the straps around it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the straps loose now, and normally you would take the straps and work it around your tire up under the fender, which sometimes is a little bit of a hassle, but not that bad. And with this, you could spare tire here, you can just see it so much easier, so have it set up like that. What I was talking about is, in fact, you might be able to see it better on this, is that if I was going to hook this into here, the clip is actually hitting on the tire, so if you end up putting the clip in this orientation, it's fine. Now, one other thing to look out for is only having the clip halfway engaged. If you have the clip halfway engaged, it will pull up like it is right now. It looks like it's hooked, but it isn't. It's catching, and then you're going to have to put it all the way back for it to be engaged all the way. I'll get a close-up of that in a minute and show it to you. But anyway, that's how you end up putting the hooks on. You hook them in there and then rotate them around. I always do up in the up position. Then you pull the straps and position your loops. Once you position these, this is where they're going to stay while you're tightening up. It's a lot easier to do it on the spare tire right now, but you can see what I'm talking about. You want to position them evenly to make sure you have a loop at least on the back side of the tire. Okay, I'm going to move the camera now to the other side and you can watch me tighten up on it. Okay, now normally you'd have this like this, the car is sitting here, pull down like this on the strap, and then I pull down through the strap, the ratchet assembly that you have, whatever type it is. At that point in time, once you get it fairly tight, then you start tightening it up. And you want this probably about as tight as you can get it. And okay, I can get it a little bit tighter, but you get the idea. One of the things you want to do also is to verify, I'm going to move the camera here, it may be a little shaky, that these clips are like this. Like you said, it can be down cocked and actually caught under the bracket and not be pulling straight up. I have seen this. In fact, a fellow RVer was getting ready to pull out and I happened to walk by and saw it, and his was like that. As long as it doesn't shift, you'll be okay because everything's tight, but all you get to get is a bump and boom, and all of a sudden one of these straps are loose on it. So it's something to always check. Now, there we go. To release it, if you have the ratchet straps, you have to pull a lever in the middle and then push up and continue pushing up and it will release. If you happen to have this, I don't know if it's Towmaster, but one of the other companies uses a similar ratchet except it slides back and forth. This one here I just mounted in position where I needed it. You have to relieve the tension on it, which is pushing down, and then while it's pushed down, disengage the teeth. And then it is loose. In fact, this bolt right here I recently added because if I didn't have it, I'd have to be pushing on this to release it. And when you're up into the car trying to push it, you don't have any leverage. And adding that bolt there to it gives me a lot of leverage. I just drilled out 1/4 inch hole, tapped it, 1/4 bolt, and added in there with a jam nut to make sure it doesn't come loose. Be aware also, I think I mentioned it before, that tow dollies are not suspended. I mean, when you go down the road, you have no suspension whatsoever, so you get a lot of vibration, especially empty. So if you're ever working on the tow dolly, make sure you're using Nylox nuts. If you're bolting something to it, they have nylon insert built into the nut that will act like a built-in lock washer, and then tighten everything up really, really well. The bolt that holds, let's see if I can get this all the way out. There we go. The bolt that holds my ratchet to the tow dolly is, see if I can get this, turn you sideways, but you can probably see it. Come on, focus right in there. There we go. Here's a class 8 bolt that I put in there to make sure that it's going to stay put, not shear off of anything. That's about it. Next time I put the car on the tow dolly, I'll show you what I have to do. On that being a very low car, I've got to add some blocks to the back of the ramps, and we're going from there. But I hope you find this interesting, and if you did, please subscribe. Thanks, and have a great day.